Hey YouTube, I return. I live. I'm gonna make this video basically because YouTube has already started to dislike me in the algorithm and cut me off, and I do not want to wait forever to return to have to deal with a bunch of YouTube algorithm nonsense. So this is gonna be like a non-edited video, completely just off the cuff, just throwing it out there. I'm also just being 100% me. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat nothing, put on some kind of act, or try to be like extra bubbly or nothing like that. I'm literally just gonna dry
で、もうバ
react
チバ
to this video. As you can see, I tried to watch it the other day. I got like 50 seconds in, and honestly, I was like, "Fuck, I gotta read." So, no offense to these guys. Thank you for making this video. I respect you guys. I respect your culture. I really respect Japan. I really like Japan. But I was just like, I just wasn't in the mood to read the other day because I was just like so busy. But we'll go ahead and do a breakdown discussion of this. I have seen some scenes and whatnot online. Okay, I got you down. I've seen some scenes online, so it made me decide if I'm gonna make a video, I'm gonna talk about this.
In this showcase, we'll go over the latest information on Resident Evil Requiem, which will release next month on February 27. Let's take a look at some of the gameplay.
Graphically, this game looks amazing. Like, this is definitely the best looking Resident Evil
出ない
yet.
とは言ってないですね。いや、言ってないです。まあ実際あの時も話しましたけど、レオンでもうバチバチのホラーのステージをテストしてみたんです
This
け
is
ど。
actually the first thing I wanted to
やっぱり
comment on, so I'm
こ
glad
んな
they're
レオン
saying
あん
here.
ま見たくない。
So I just gotta say, they're talking about, and they said this before, we can't make a horror game with Leon and all that stuff. You made Leon that way. You made him into John Wick. Nobody asked for this. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this from Resident Evil 4. I didn't ask for it from Resident Evil 9. Nobody asked for this in Resident Evil. In fact, I think this was probably one of the least asked for things from Resident Evil fans to make it a super action, like Leon John Wick game. Like, if you want to do this, just make another series. That's how we got Devil May Cry. Why do they keep, I just watched a video the other day where this guy was talking about, like, let series die. Like, let franchises die. I think that's what the video was called. And I totally agree with it because I am tired of seeing franchises, series, whatever that I like and that I love for what they are turning into completely different things that I don't know what they are anymore. And that's kind of where Resident Evil is in that exact spot. Resident Evil 9, I posted my last video and I was like, I'm not worried at all anymore. I've seen some stuff now in this one that remind me exactly of Village, the game that I hate the most, and I'm already worried again. Every time they release something new with this game, I bounce back and forth between worried, not worried at all, completely worried, not worried at all. It's really frustrating how they're just like tugging at my emotions, and I think that's why they've also shown so little of the actual game thus far, because they're really worried about what people are going to think about it. They've shown this to kind of test the water, I think, and be like, look, you got zombies, you're fighting zombies as Leon, look. I feel like that's what they're doing here with this. I hope that I'm wrong, because at least this stuff looks pretty good. But we'll see. A lot of people, I watched one other, well, like two or three other videos from like some other small YouTubers. I forget their names, unfortunately. I don't know them also, so I'm not going to shout them out because I don't know how they would feel about that, because I bash on Resident Evil a lot, so I don't know if they want to be associated with me. Somebody that's so negative, to be honest. Negative about something that I love. I'm passionate about it, okay? That's why I have the opinions that I have. But it's something that basically some other people were saying was that this reminds them a lot of Resident Evil 6, and I see a lot of the resemblances here, kind of like just like how they're mentioning here, by combining Grace's horror and Leon's action and allowing you to play them side by side. Resident Evil 6 was very much like that, where you got, you had Leon's campaign where it is kind of just a zombie action game where you're running through very linear levels, fighting zombies and monsters, kind of, more original Resident Evil. And then you've got freaking Chris and Jake's campaigns, and then Leida's, where you're doing a lot of really, really weird stuff, fighting a lot of really weird stuff that doesn't make sense. And it's really weird because, like, you fight a bunch of enemies with guns in Resident Evil 6. Even in Resident Evil 5 toward the end. Even in Resident Evil 4, actually, there's some enemies with guns, a bunch of them with crossbows and stuff. I just think it's weird that they decided to go that route with it, but they never decided to go the route where you're just fighting people with guns. Like the bad guys that are actually like the terrorists that are spreading these viruses and all this stuff. You're never fighting them. You're just fighting the monsters. The only time that there's ever like any real like fighting between one human and another human, it's just in a cutscene, which usually ends up leading to one of them turning themselves into a monster, and then you play fighting the monster. I think they could have gone a completely different path with a lot of this stuff, and it would have been a lot better. It would have been a lot more grounded. It would have been a lot more true to Resident Evil, and I think that would have prevented us from getting this really weird and confusing timeline that we now can never escape from. We will never. It's all. It's yeah. Anyway.
すごく感情の入れ幅が大きいゲームになってます。バイオハザードって緊張と弛緩のその差っていうのが一つ面白さ。
People hated Resident Evil 6, but then they loved Resident Evil 8.
静かなペースで進むグレー
This will literally be another game that heavily divides the fan base. Like I'm calling that right now. This will also be the game that really like makes or breaks Resident Evil for me personally.
こういう意図で構成してますね。
What did you say there?
差っていうのが一つ面白さ
between tension and release.
すごく緊張して静かなペースで進むグレースのゲームプレイともう発散してダイナミックに激しいアクションをするそういうカタルシスなレオン大きな意味でその緊張と弛緩っていう役割としてパートを最適に配置する、こういう意図で構成してますね。
They say that they're going to be super different, but looking at it, I think really it's just completely going to be dependent on like Arsenal and how you play. They're changing what guns each character will have, so like that'll kind of change up how you play a little bit, kind of like in Resident Evil 2, you play different as Claire versus Leon. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's you playing the game. It's not Grace. You're not Grace. You're not Leon. You're just a person playing as these characters. So ultimately, it doesn't really matter how much emphasis they try to put on, like, oh, Grace feels this way about this. Leon feels this way about it. I don't care. I feel this way about it, and that's how I'm going to play each of these characters. If you give me different stuff for each of them to do, you're changing all the gameplay mechanics and how they operate. You're changing all of the feel of all that stuff. So, like, if I wanted to, Leon's campaign could still be the horror campaign. And Grace's story could be the one where I'm just balling on action. It's really dependent on how I'm playing. It really has nothing to do with a lot of this other stuff. It's really how I feel, how the game makes me feel moment to moment. That's why a lot of this is like really confusing, and a lot of this is like I don't get the people that are like, yeah, they're right. It's like, no, none of this makes sense. This is just them making excuses for why they're not making the games that they used to make, and for why Resident Evil is what it is now. I'm really just ranting on this stuff right now. I'm just calling it for what it is. A lot of the stuff that people do not. Oh wait. Oh yeah, that's another reason why people, I guess, have been like mentioning it, because they even say this is post Resident Evil 6.
エージェントとしてバイオハザードテロと世界のね戦い続けてるってことになってます。彼はたくさんの悲劇を見てきた。おそらく彼今回過去一
And as far as I'm aware, we don't get to see any Raccoon City in any of this. I'm also upset that they didn't release a demo. Like, I really thought they were going to release a demo. I didn't watch this whole thing. I clicked to the end to see, oh, is there a demo? No, there was no demo. It's not their zombies. I'm kind of confused about like what they're doing with this because they're putting a lot of emphasis on it. I feel like this is just another thing where they're trying to make zombies less zombies. And I was really excited to see the zombies, but the more stuff like this that they show us, the less I get excited about it, and the more that I kind of agree with some other people. I think that were commenting maybe on one of my other videos. I can't remember at this moment, but
I think I want a second opinion.
レオンのゲームプレイは圧倒的な緊張感のある戦闘 RE4 から進化したサバイバルアクションになっています。トマホークという
this is where I'm about to like really start ranting. To be completely honest.
シューティングっていうのが中心になってくるので、さらに洗練されたガンプレイっていう
What is that? What is that? Why? It's like, oh my god, it's like the meme of Resident Evil 4 where he runs up the wall between the chainsaws. It's like, why does he do all this like extra goofy stuff? You didn't have to make him do that. You know why it's less of a horror game now? You know why you can't make Leon or put Leon in a horror game anymore? It's because you do stuff like this.
ここにも力を入れてますね。
And you know what? Shame on all the... I'll just say it. I said it in one of my other videos, and I'll say it again. Shame on all of the fucking big channels that do not call this stuff out for what it is, and that don't shame Capcom for doing this stuff. The channels that spent years hating on freaking Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6 for being super heavy action games, but then praise games like this, Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil 7, which are all not only as far from the original Resident Evil concept and the original like base games, lore, all that stuff. It's so far from what we originally fell in love with Resident Evil 4 in so many ways, but they call it out. The only thing they ever call out are all the wrong things. I remember spending years, I actually used to go to their comments and complain because they would be talking about like, you know, oh, they got rid of the camera angles, Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, oh, camera angles. It's like, that was a thing of the times. It was part of the limitations of like them learning how to make games, all that stuff. We didn't have third-person games really like existing in a normal thing back then. They didn't want to make a first person. It was just what they did to try to make it the best that they could for the time. And then they kept running with it. And then eventually they kind of got away from the camera angles to where they would just kind of do like almost like the, you know, I don't know what it's called, but what they do for like the Lego Star Wars games and stuff. You would just have a high up camera. It's not top down. You know what I'm talking about though, like Resident Evil Outbreak and Code Veronica and those games had that more that kind of camera system where it wasn't just like the, you know, movie camera style that they had for like Resident Evil 1, 2, 3 and stuff like that. It was a more dynamic type of camera, almost, you know, more modern. But anyway, it's like the only thing that those channels like ever really harped on. And they harped so much on it, and it really, really annoys me. Still to this day, obviously, it still bothers me. Because they never actually spoke out on the actually bad stuff that we did end up getting a lot of for years. And you know why? Because they sold out. They became shills. Because they started getting paychecks to say good things about all of this stuff. That's why also, if you listen to them now, they don't have very negative opinions about any of the games at all, really. Everything's just hunky-dory, happy-go-lucky daisies. And, you know, all the videos, all the games, all that stuff. And if you say anything bad about them, you're the idiot. And it's because, you know, they have all these goofy-ass reasons why, where it's like, if you talk to yourself, I bet, from like 10 years ago, 10 year ago, you would beat the out of you. Like, oh my God. It's just crazy. It's crazy to see. And that's, you know, I gotta stop like ranting and ranting and ranting like this, but it's something that like I've seen the community become so divided, so torn apart. A lot of it is because of like the modern fans now. A lot of it is to basically shill out for the modern fans, the ones that joined on a lot later for the newer games that don't know basically anything about the older games, that a lot of lie about and say, oh yeah, I know about that, I totally played that. They don't know jack diddly squat about those games, because if they actually did, they wouldn't say more than half of the stuff that they say about the new games, about the current stuff, about like, you know, whatever. It's just it's atrocious. It's the community has been hijacked by the modern what's the word for it? You know what I'm talking about, basically. Modern audiences. There's another word for it, but I can't think of it right now. So I like that you can do this. So at least there's like weapon drops, pick up stuff, use it. That makes sense. I like that they give you an axe. Actually use. It's an upgrade from the knife. And for anybody that like will try to go into my comments right now and try to side with Capcom and all the other people that are like, no, you couldn't make a horror game with Leon now, blah. It's Capcom's fault. 2, Dead Space. Dead Space had Isaac Clarke for 3 games. Yeah, sure, by the 3rd game, it is a lot less scary, and it's a lot more just action. They didn't try to make that one scary, though. But still, Dead Space 2, 1 and 2, same character. They're both scary games. They even remastered Dead Space 1, remade the whole game, basically. And it was even scarier than it was before. And I loved it. And that'll always be a scary game because of how they make it. You set the tone when you create the game. What is this? I missed what they're talking about. Somebody commented on my last video about this, about the revolver being like a passing the torch for Leon to Grace. I think you were 100% right, because it's literally like what they're kind of even talking about here, basically. The revolver is the Requiem. I don't understand how that is, but okay. Specialized what? As injectors, you'll need to use infected blood. Destroys infected blood commands, courses mutating. Okay, so this is they brought back the, what was it called? Redheads? Is that what they were called? Basically the zombies from Resident Evil 1, where they get back up, they mutate, they become like a lot stronger, faster, all that stuff. So they brought that stuff back. That's pretty cool. I really like that. So I guess you're using this, you're not burning the corpses in this one, you're using an injector to, like it says, destroy the infected cells. So it probably like is like an acid, it just breaks down the whole body or something like that, or just prevents it from getting up, who knows. That's pretty cool. Oh, you can even take them down with it too.
That's too effective.
Oh, I heard somebody else comment about this. Where's the real gore? Where's the actual gore here? Sure, there's a lot of blood, I guess. But like, where's the meat? The bones? Like anything from an actual person.
A variety of gameplay options have also been
I
added to
hate
this
the
title.
aim down sights that they added.
Players can switch between 2 camera perspectives.
It's not even an actual ADS. It's so just like
and these can be
half-assed.
changed at any time during the game.
They might as well have just left it the way they had it before.
Are also
like there's literally like
New
no
players
change
can enjoy
basically.
casual
It's
mode
still just I'm
and
using
use
a
aim
crosshair.
assist to take down zombies with more ease.
I would have much preferred
But
to
if you
just
choose
have
standard
the iron
classic,
sights. And
ink
so I
ribbons
heard
will be
somebody
needed to
making a
save the
comment
game when playing as Grace.
about like it's because of the critical hit chance or whatever. Well, just freaking make it so that if I hit my crosshair on the freaking forehead, that I have a higher chance for a critical hit. Why is that so hard? It's the same thing.
This mode.
So you think spending an extra like 3 to 5 seconds just is like more entertaining and like better for you? I'm sorry, I value my time. I would rather just like be based off of my skill rather than wasting my time on like how well I'm gonna do. And then it's still a chance. So like, what does it even matter?
For those who enjoy a tense atmosphere.
I like that they brought back the typewriters and the ink ribbons. That's pretty cool. Oh god, another section that I hate here. I'm gonna straight up skip this whole section because this is Capcom shilling out with this goofy advertisement that they put in here for like way too long. That they really, I actually watched somebody talk about this whole segment. They don't really say anything that pertains to the game or show off anything important here. It's strictly just an advertisement for the car and a fucking watch or watches that most people are not going to buy or care about. I don't really know who this is for. The watches are okay. I mean, like, sure, I guess some fans would buy the watches, but they're really not even that, like, nice of watches. They're not that crazy. And I know they're going to be crazily priced, probably. So, again, who's this for? Why are you advertising a car to Resident Evil fans? Here's what I really hate. I hate this costume. I hate this costume. That's really it. I just hate these two costumes. Where's the Requiem? Where's the callback to Resident Evil 1? Where's the callback to Resident Evil 2? Where's the callback to Resident Evil 3? Where is the Requiem in Requiem for Resident Evil? Like, what is this fucking DSO badge? And like all this other stuff? Like, what about stars? Sure, you got this raccoon thing that you added in for Resident Evil 2 Remake, the game you kind of cheaped out on. Where's the, like, actually good callbacks? What is this audio pack, this non-specific audio pack? And what the fuck are these? Like, I don't care about this at all. They don't even look that good. And these are the 4 skins that you're going to give me for the game. At least with Resident Evil 4, you got, like, a whole new gun. Like, that was actually cool. And then like none of these outfits make sense at all. This should be like Jill's outfit from Resident Evil 1, Jill's outfit from Resident Evil 3, and then they should also have like Claire's outfits and like other shit like that. Then for Leon, you should have his Resident Evil 2 outfit, his RPD outfit, then like Chris's outfit from Resident Evil 1, maybe like Barry's outfit, Albert Wesker's outfit. Like, none of this is a requiem to Resident Evil 1. None of this is paying homage or anything to the classic original Resident Evil. This is fucking Resident Evil 8. This is fucking Village right here. This is garbage. This is dog shit. What the fuck is this?
A deluxe edition.
Like, I am so tired of
bonus
seeing this
content
shit,
will also be available
bro.
for purchase. Extra costumes for Grace and Leon. Those who pre-order will receive an apocalypse costume.
Okay, this is the only actually nice outfit that they have, and it has nothing to do with the original games again.
For Grace.
It's just called the Apocalypse outfit. It looks like Nathan Drake from Uncharted 3.
Along with the platforms shown.
In fact, to prove my point, I did not expect this video to go this way, and I'm not fucking editing this. I'm leaving this whole geek out fucking in. This is the video.
Along with the platforms shown, the game will also be available on the cloud gaming service GeForce Now. This title is being developed in collaboration with NVIDIA, so a wide range of PC users can enjoy it.
Ooh,
It's such an honor to work on Resident Evil. The iconic series has been thrilling fans around the world for close to 30 years, and has continued to raise the bar.
That's actually probably the nicest part about this
and technology
is the tech with NVIDIA. That's why this game looks so good. Hopefully this actually runs better than Resident Evil 2 and 3 that ran like dog shit. Resident Evil 4 ran pretty good.
With path tracing for realistic graphics,
I haven't played that in a while.
NVIDIA DLSS 4 with multi-frame generation for incredibly fast performance. DLSS also makes Resident Evil Requiem
just to give them some credit here, I'm gonna give them some credit here.
With multi-frame generation,
this shit looks really good. This whole scene here, this stuff blowing in the wind, the neon lights, all this stuff. This looks really good. Also, this looks like actual gameplay. Like this looks like
DLSS 4 with multi-frame generation.
This looks like Grace is like actually walking around the city. Like this is actual like gameplay where we're walking around the city. I could be wrong. And this could be one of those like controlled scenes, kind of like in Resident Evil Village, where like the first like 30 minutes of the game is like, or some shit like that is like totally peaceful. You're just like walking around through like some story beats and stuff. That could be what this is. But I think it's pretty cool that we actually get to like walk around the city here before everything is all bad. Hopefully we actually still get to walk around the city after the outbreak starts happening, all that stuff. Hopefully we actually get to walk around a lot of the city, unlike in Resident Evil 3 Remake, which was really disappointing. I really started playing like the original classic Resident Evil 3 the other day, and I was like, there's so much to explore. It's so cool.
DLSS also makes Resident Evil Requiem more accessible.
And that was like a half-assed like thrown together game that like didn't get all the attention that they wanted to back in the day originally too. If I remember correctly, they like rushed that game, and it was still better than the new game.
Across a wide range of PCs, extending the nightmare to more gamers. And with GeForce Now, gamers can experience Resident Evil Requiem at launch with the cutting-edge graphics and performance on nearly any device, streaming from powerful GeForce RTX servers.
I'll give them credit for this again too, because you can actually run their games on like a wide variety of systems. I can run Resident Evil 2, 3, 4 remakes all at like pretty high 4K graphics on my older computer with a 2060 Super, a very old graphics card. And then I can also run it stupid crazy good on my 5090. So, just to say, they can still run on a really old graphics card, really old system, really old hardware that's like a 4-core processor or CPU, whatever. You know, really old motherboard. Like, it's still a good motherboard, but it's all like really old stuff. And it still runs really well on that stuff. So they do actually like I know I was just kind of bashing on it, but you know, for the most part, they optimize pretty well so that it runs on everything. Their game engine itself is not very good, but they optimize it very well.
The mysteries of Raccoon City once again.
I would love to see
Not
even
only
just
that,
a speckle of
1/6
that
scale
gameplay.
figures of our 2 protagonists will also be available for purchase. Grace and Leon's figures can be displayed separately or together as a set. And if you line them up with previous figures, both figures are scheduled for release this fall. An original design Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller will be released on the same day as the game. And as a series first,
a lot of
will also be available. Please look forward to more information. On Resident Evil Requiem launch day, the gold editions of both Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, including all downloadable content, will be released on the Nintendo Switch 2. We'll also be celebrating 30 years of the series with special concerts. Relive the series' greatest moments with breathtaking orchestral performances. The first ticket lottery is open right
Put
now
it away
to
before I...
Resident Evil and Biohazard.
What is this? Oh, not you.
We'll also be celebrating 30 years of the series with special concerts. Relive the series' greatest moments with breathtaking orchestral performances.
That
The
actually
first
sounds
ticket lottery
nice.
is open right now to Resident Evil ambassadors. Concerts are planned for not just Japan, but North America and Europe. More information on these will be released later.
I think I'm in that ambassador program thing, but it doesn't make any sense to me. It's whack.
これもねまだお伝えしてるんですけど、実はレオンにはある秘密があって、そことも関わってくる要素だったり、
I like classical music though. That'd be really cool to be able to go to. I wish they were just
そ
like
ことも関わってくる要素だったり、
selling tickets to
グレ
everybody.
ースのお母さんアリスタがあって、
Hold on.
そことも関わってくる要素だったり、
Related to
グレース
Elpis.
のお母さんア
Play
リスタが
regarding
殺
the
されたり、
murder
そこにも関
of
わる
Grace's
非
mother.
常に重要なものになっているので、この辺のねその謎をプレイしてぜひ解き明かしていってもらえればなと思います。バイオハザードレクイエム、まだまだ言いたいこと本当にキリがないので、発売まで引き続き注目していただければと思います。
Yeah, there's a whole lot more that you could have said here, to be completely honest. Because they kind of just showed a lot of the same that they've kind of been showing us that we already knew about.
Kidnap you. I liberated you.
See, okay, so I was right. He's not trying to hurt her here, actually. That's why she's not blasting him. I think this is probably right before that chase scene where she's like running away from him and shit.
Liberated you. I think I want a second opinion.
What is happening here?
I'll keep our friends busy.
This is where I was like, oh my god, it's fucking Resident Evil 8 again. It's another giant baby, another talking monster that's like an aware human or something. I don't know. I don't totally know what this is, but it immediately reminded me of Resident Evil 8 when I did see it in somebody else's clip somewhere else. And yeah, I about had a conniption, to be honest with you. I think it caused me Dane damage, but we'll find out. Yeah. That's Resident Evil Requiem, baby! What the fuck is
で
this?
もうバチバチのホラーのステージをテストしてみたんですけど、
So, yeah. I don't know how to feel about this game anymore. I don't know how to feel about Capcom anymore. Honestly, even from like the other games that they've been releasing over the last like I think like at least 5 years now, I've kind of just been like, what the fuck with basically all of them. Like, we could have had Dino Crisis, we could have gotten more Devil May Cry, We could have gotten a lot of other really cool games, but instead we're getting weird Resident Evil games and games like what is it called? I think it's, yeah, whatever the fuck this shit is. This, I know it's Japan, but this is too far. And I'm not even going to look into it basically any further than what I've already seen at E3. I just think this is just weird. The whole, I've seen the gameplay for it. I know it's like they're trying something different, all this stuff. I don't care. It's really weird. It's really out there. And you know what? In a way, I'm glad that they're trying something new and something different, and that they're doing it with a different franchise. They're trying just something all new. They're like, let's try all this new weird shit with something completely different and new. I'm happy about that. I'm glad that they didn't do that again with something that already exists again. Because man, I hate when companies do that. But like, yeah, I uh gonna say something else. Spacing my mind. Um, Something about doing that again. Oh yeah, basically just, yeah. So we could have gotten all this other cool stuff. Like this game also reminds me a lot of, again, of like another like Devil May Cry. This literally gives me the feeling of like they were working on Resident Evil, but they wanted to really make a Devil May Cry. And like this is literally like, it gives me that same exact kind of feeling of, you know, that basically the RE 3.5, if you want to call it that, the RE4 pre-demo, you know, when it was like that in between how we ended up getting Devil May Cry to begin with and all that stuff. This literally gives me a lot of those feelings, and it reminds me a lot of that kind of stuff. He's even got like a melee weapon. He's even got an axe. So, and they're putting like a lot of emphasis on it. And then he does all these like all this stuff. It's like they literally just want him to be like Dante or John Wick. Like, and if they want to do that, why don't they just make that as a game? Like the, okay, so here's another thing that I don't get. If they like zombie games, they like doing this weird stuff, why don't they just make another game, another series? They already have Dead Rising, which is a whole nother zombie series that's totally different from Resident Evil, totally different virus, totally different outbreaks, totally different style, totally different everything. If you want to do something like this, why not make something different that you can do like this and just go 100% on it and go ham? Why do you have to do this with Resident Evil of all things? Why can't you just literally like you did with Devil May Cry, make something new, make something different? You want to do this like, you know, this stuff, literally just make like Zombie May Cry, you know, whatever, something like that. It's just really weird that they keep trying, every company keeps trying like different weird stuff with already existing things that people know and expect something. The existing fan base expects one thing, and they want to please modern audiences instead of just, you know, the people that already love them, and then they want to mess everything up. I'm not saying that they're messing everything up here. I'm ranting a lot because of, I mean, I've seen the patterns. I've seen it all before, and I'm just afraid that we're headed right back down the same path that we've headed down before. Again, where we're gonna get another heavy divisive or heavy dividing game that's really, you know, strange to the lore, does a lot of weird stuff, and just, yeah. If we made it this far, if we've made it past my rants for about 40 minutes now, I want to like this game. I really do. I really really want this game to be good. I want this game to succeed. I want it to have a good story. I want it to be an actual requiem to Resident Evil. I want it to actually be like Resident Evil. I want it to actually bring back Resident Evil to what it's supposed to be. The problem is that like they're doing this 30th anniversary and they name this Requiem, and then they're just showing a bunch of this stuff marketing for other random crap, and then they're also leading back to, they're showing off Village a bunch. They're tying in Village a bunch to this. So I'm gonna skip this again just because fuck you for that, Capcom. And it's just, it's really it's really confusing. It's really strange. It's really disappointing. It's really worrisome. And it's, yeah, I'm tired of the tug, pull, shove and pull and push and pull, whatever that Capcom is putting me through with all of the media and stuff that they keep putting out. And I'm getting a lot more concerned now because we literally haven't seen any. This is supposedly only like probably like 25% of the game. We haven't seen a speckle of like the other 25%. This is literally just from like probably like the first hour or two, maybe. I don't know. I really can't say. But what I can say is that the more they show me, the more concerned I get. Like now, at least, because they just keep showing the same stuff over and over, and somehow they're starting to make the same stuff look bad. I don't know. I know I had like a totally different vibe in my last video because I saw the zombies and you know, the Leon and the cool gun, and I got excited. But now I've had a lot of time to like really think it over, and I've seen some more stuff, and I'm like, ah, man, is Capcom being Capcom again? I don't know about this. I don't know about this. And like, okay, again, if you made it this far, thank you. Think about it like this, okay? For those that like don't understand where I'm coming from, let me try to explain it from like, and I've done this with my other videos. Let me try to explain it from like another franchise point of view. Look at the Fallout show right now. You've got the Fallout 1 and 2 fans basically. Then you got the Fallout 3 and New Vegas fans, and then you got the Fallout 4, 76 and show fans. All are completely different for some reason. But then also you've got this really hard split between the original fans that all relatively basically like 1, 2, 3, and New Vegas. And then 4 is just kind of like, okay. 76 is bleh. And the show is just awful to them because it's destroying the lore. And frankly, I'm now kind of in that boat too because it literally is just killing all of the lore from those games, especially New Vegas, which kind of makes everybody feel like Bethesda hates them. Or, you know, New Vegas or whatever. That's basically, and it's because they're doing a bunch of weird things that, like, the Brotherhood doesn't act like the Brotherhood. They're just all killing each other. Everything that the old fans knew is completely different, and or dead or killing each other in ways that shouldn't ever have happened from the original lore. Now put that basically same thing, Resident Evil. Now again, different thing. Halo. Did the Halo show and the Halo game fans get along? Did they all agree that like it's all the same? Did the game fans love the show? Fuck no, dude. The show fans will love the games, but the original OG fans hate the show because it's fucking nothing like Halo. It has nothing to do with Halo. It's same, sure, it's got the Master Chief, sure, it's got the Covenant, it's got, you know, all that stuff, but it's not Halo at all. It's not the same writing, it's not the same feel at all. And honestly, this is gonna sound crazy, but at least they did that a little bit better. Actually, I'll even say they did it a lot better and stayed a lot more true to what Halo was than Capcom has been with the game series. Because at least they didn't, you know, on the 4th episode, all of a sudden, oh, why is this guy's video on? I'm so sorry, that guy. I'm not trying to play your video. Maximilian, whatever. But yeah, at least on the 4th episode of the show, they didn't all of a sudden just be like, hey, so yeah, all that stuff that we did in the last 4 episodes, yeah, all that's over with. We're doing this totally different thing now. We're going to Spain to go fight villagers. That would have been an awful show. Wouldn't have been. I mean, they did some really weird, wacky stuff on that show, but considered, it stayed a little bit more true, at least, than like Resident Evil 4, 5, 6 did to their source material. Let's see, what's another franchise that I can go after that is like not at all the same anymore? There's a lot of them, really. Tomb Raider for a while. A series that I also fucking love for almost about the same amount of time. I don't know it as well. But the new Tomb Raider games, when they rebooted it, basically, I felt like, I was like, this is not Tomb Raider. This is not really anything like the original Tomb Raider games. Like, it's still, you got a lot of the same stuff here, but you're also missing a lot of the same stuff, and very, like, different kind of vibes. Like, very, it's not like strong woman. It's like strong woman. It's like the feminist strong woman. Which is not a strong woman. The original Tomb Raider was a strong woman, but anyway. So that's like another series. I'm not even gonna like go into full detail on that one, but I mean, just if you know, you know. And there's been a bunch of other stuff like that. So basically, that's the same thing that I'm calling out here with the new Resident Evil stuff that like nobody else really has been. A lot of people kind of half-ass call it out, but they don't really fully call it out. I don't know why. I don't know what's been going on, dude. I don't know what's up with the Resident Evil like community and fan base. I don't know why there's a lot of people that like aren't actually fans of stuff that jump on stuff and pretend to be or act like they're fans when they literally don't even know like 80% of what they're talking about. But they have the most vocal fucking opinions that you can find in the comment sections or, places of the internet, like whatever. It's the craziest stuff ever, dude. And that's like that's just like, that sums up basically fucking 2020 to 2025, how so many people started being, I guess since lockdown, so many people got like, indoors, so they watched a bunch of videos on YouTube about like lore videos, and they thought they got the whole pieces to a puzzle or something, when really they didn't. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's really, really weird. People are weird. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at. This game will either make or break Resident Evil for me as a fan. I will either continue to try to, try to support Capcom and, want to buy their games, all that good stuff, or this is going to be the game that makes me decide I will never buy another Resident Evil game ever again, and it will just be the past games for me. And I can still enjoy those, and I do enjoy those a lot. I don't overplay them, I don't speedrun them, so I can still go back and, every once in a while find things that I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was there, I don't remember that being there, all that stuff. And I can still really enjoy them, and I really like that. And, that will always exist, basically. And I'm okay. I'll be okay with that. I don't need Resident Evil to continue forever. I don't want to see this series become just slop that continues on doing the same thing over and over again every few years to get the same, like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want, like, real creativity. I want, like, new things. I want new stories. And they're not even giving us the stuff that we actually ask for. If they were actually doing that, we would have gotten a Resident Evil Outbreak. They're referencing Outbreak a lot here. They had a whole showcase And instead of showing off like a Resident Evil Outbreak, which sure, yeah, they don't want to pull away from this game, why not? This would be the perfect time to show off a Resident Evil Outbreak because it ties into this game. You could have referenced it a lot more here, and it would have made everything a lot better, and it would have made all the fans a lot happier. It would have made a lot more fans, a lot of more, brought back a lot of OG fans. It would have made everything better, basically, is what I'm saying. But they're never going to do that because they don't want to do that because they don't want to go back to the old Resident Evil stuff. They want you to forget that because they made these new stupid games that they don't want to back out on or, you know, anything because they can't now, unfortunately. It's their fault, but whatever. So they have to just instead make a shittier choice and keep referencing them, keep going back to them now, and try to burn the original games, which is frankly just awful. Which is why it's been so difficult to get the classics to be ported to, you know, new stuff or whatever. It takes forever for them to do that. I had a bunch of glitches and errors just trying to download Resident Evil 3 Classic on like my PlayStation 5. I had to do this real wonky way just to get it to work. I don't know what was actually wrong with it. Could have just been a PlayStation issue. I don't know. But I mean, you go listen to anybody else that actually knows like the deeper details about like the porting and all that stuff. I know there's something up with the Resident Evil 2 or not 2, Resident Evil Code Veronica where they ported like a weird version of it, and it's true because like I can play it on my PS5 and it looks like weird and foggy, but then I have another version somewhere else. I forget where. I think it's the PS3 version that I have that's like an actual HD remaster, and it looks really good. It actually looks better on my PS3, I think, than it does on my PS5. I don't know what the fuck they did there. I don't know how they messed that up. Here goes the stupid Porsche ad again. But yeah, so I mean, like, they had a 5-minute fucking Porsche and watch ad, but they couldn't show us that like, hey, we're gonna make a Outbreak game. We're gonna make a you know, something that you've actually been asking for like a decade from us. You know, yeah. No, instead of that, fuck all that shit. We're not doing any of that stuff for you. Fuck you. We're gonna give you this. We're gonna give you weird vampire, big titty, giant, monstrous ladies that we're gonna keep shoving in your face and reminding you in all of our new games about until you die. Because that's what we want you to remember Resident Evil 4 is weird, horny stuff that never was in the originals to begin with. That's actually like fantasy horror and not sci-fi horror at all. But whatever. Can you tell that I'm like super mad? I've basically been ranting for like an hour about a I didn't even, we're not even going over the whole video, but okay, actually we did because we basically ranted about the Porsche. So I've made a fucking hour-long rant about a 13-minute video. That's how you can tell I'm actually a fan. My fucking ringtone is the item noise from Resident Evil 2. Like, ah! It's just I just hate to see what Resident Evil has become. I was such a huge fan of the original series, and it's just so weird now and convoluted and confusing. And it's nothing like what it used to be. For the worse, not for the better at all. It's super depressing. Who knows? You know what? Let's since it's right here, I'll shout it out. Let's go watch West Nemo's video where he's talking about some kind of remake big news. If this is actually like, if they actually are remaking like Code Veronica, that'd be pretty cool. But they should have already done that. They should have done that before they went to this, quite frankly. They should have done all the remakes and like fixed a lot of stuff. They could have like straightened out the story instead of doing, oh man, they're just, the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, they fucked it, dude. There's no going back. Like, they can go forward from here and they can try to I mean, they do something different every game, basically. So who knows? Like, I mean, the last like 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 and 8 work together. I consider them basically one game. They're both dog shit. So the last 4 mainline games, 5, 4 mainline games have all been completely different, unconnected stories. So why the fuck not, 9 be another completely different, unconnected story? And then either if this is good, then connect it to 10 and keep it going, or then like why the fuck just keep doing weird random stuff. I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna keep saying same things over and over again. And I don't want this to run over an hour. I'm not editing this video. Just like I said at the beginning, I'm not editing this video. I don't care how much I ranted and raved, or how this video comes out. YouTube wanted me to put out a video. I wanted to talk about Resident Evil. I wanted to rant about it basically and put my opinions out on this. I didn't really have anything good to say, to be honest. This was tough to watch, honestly. This is tough. Which is sad because it's like, zombies! Finally! And they're still fucking it up, bro. I don't know how Capcom manages to have capture fucking lightning in a bottle and continuously just kill each other with the lightning in the bottle, or like, I don't know. It's like they're literally just like, I don't know. Whatever. All right. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you if you enjoyed this, thank you for watching. That's great. Maybe we're both in the same kind of headspace, or going through the same kind of stuff, or maybe we just both feel the same exact fucking way about Resident Evil right now in the current state of gaming industry, everything, all this nonsense. I don't even know anymore, man. It's all kind of just gay and retarded. But yeah. So I hope you have a good one. I hope you have a good rest of your week. Bye.